Hello and welcome. My name is Fauna Blanco, and together with my colleague Jasmine Velasco, we work under the Equity, Access, and Instructional Services Department. And with you in mind, our families, we have prepared our first virtual coffee chat session titled Managing Uncertainty, Embracing a For Now Normal, Helpful Tips for Families Now Teaching from Home. We appreciate you taking the time to view this session. We know that daily routines have changed because of steps taken to prevent the spread of COVID-19. You might be working from home or even facing the prospect of underemployment or unemployment, and on top of that are also homeschooling. That's a lot of change. In times of uncertainty, it can be easy and understandable to feel overwhelmed, but there are things you can do to ease into a for now normal, especially when it comes to supporting children in their learning at home. That being said, the purpose of our virtual family engagement coffee chat series is to support our families in their role as a child's first teacher. Our goal is to be able to release a new chat every 2 weeks. So if you have any topic that you would like to see presented, please provide your input by taking the survey at the end of the presentation. Looking forward to the new school year, if we are still unable to provide face-to-face workshops, we will look into presenting these coffee chat series live through Zoom or another similar platform so that participants can join in on the conversation. And for those of you who are unable to attend, we will record the session and post them on our parent university page found on the Linwood Unified School District's webpage. So when you're ready to watch it, it's readily available. Now for this session, we'd like to encourage you to participate in reflecting and answering some questions. So please go ahead and pause the video and grab a pen or a pencil and something to write on, like a sheet of paper or a journal. As always, even if it's virtually, we want to continue incorporating a community builder to build a sense of community with our participants. Okay, let's get started. First, you have to get up out of your chair, your couch, your bed, wherever you're sitting on, and onto your feet. Then, move to the music. Cumbia. Hopefully, you were able to release some stress and anxiety through that dance. We sure did. Now let's get started. Today's goal is to explore ways families can help create meaningful and effective at-home learning opportunities during the pandemic. We invite you to read this quote written by Dr. Rebecca Palacios. Parents create the environments and experiences in which learning happens, which makes them the first teacher their children will ever have. Please go ahead and take a moment to reflect on this quote and jot down any thoughts that come to mind. We want you to keep this quote in the forefront of your mind as it ties in with what will be discussed in this session. Now that K-12 education has shifted to distance learning, families have scrambled to understand their new roles and are still trying to find ways to be effective. We realize there are so many resources offered right now from all different organizations. So we wanted to make it a little easier for our families by providing some tips that we find very useful. Here is a quick review of the 7 tips that we will explore that will assist in providing structure to your approach and make the learning more productive and long-lasting, whatever the learning materials you may have available in your home. 1, flexible spacing. 2, checking in. 3, brain breaks. 4, finding a rhythm. 5, putting it all together. 6, encouraging a growth mindset. And 7, fostering creativity. Tip number 1, create a flexible learning space. Allowing for flexible learning spaces provides for your child to have a choice in which learning environment works best for them. When students can tailor their space to their work, the research suggests that they feel more engaged and more productive. So go ahead and encourage your child to move the furniture and the props to fit their learning needs. At the same time, it's important to maintain structure while allowing a choice. Make sure to set clear expectations about how and when a space can be used. Those guidelines for what type of work happens in different spaces are very important. What we find works best for our own kids is to have all materials readily available and organized in either a basket, as pictured here on the screen, a tote, or even their backpack. There's no one-size-fits-all routine. Your for now normal is going to be as unique as each member of your family. And that's a good thing. If anything, this is a time to celebrate the strength as a family. Invite everyone to talk about what their ideal day might look like. Each person can answer the following questions. What is one thing I need each day? What is one thing that will help me feel happier or calmer? How can I help my family each day? How can someone help me? And what is the one thing I don't want? Now, older children can write their answers in a journal. That's literacy moment, right? Then they can map out a daily routine that incorporates the answers. Of course, not everyone will get their way completely, but knowing what's important to each person can help everyone feel heard and valued. Go ahead and take a moment to answer this question. What can you do or have already done to create a flexible learning space at home? You can pause the presentation to reflect. Here are some examples of flexible learning that's happening in our homes. You see here a traditional desk or a table for math and writing practice, a couch, armchair, bed, or even a bean bag to watch online instruction or read a good book. Chairs, bed sheets, pillows, and blankets can be transformed into a writing or reading fortress. A stack of pillows in a corner of a room or the great outdoors can inspire the artist within. Tip number 2, check in every morning and throughout the day. Decades of research reveals that a sense of belonging, well-being, and connection is a crucial precursor to learning. If your child is upset or lonely, for example, the research suggests that they simply won't be as productive as learners. So it's a good idea to consider checking in with your child in the morning and throughout the day by asking some lightweight questions. For example, is there an emoji that best represents your mood right now? What is it? What color or blend of colors best represents how you're feeling today? Why? Encourage opportunities for children to connect and check in with their peers. If your school participates in distance learning, make sure your child regularly engages with their peers. If your child has a friend's phone number, have them connect with a phone call or even a text. Go ahead and take a moment to reflect on this question. How are the children in your home doing? How are they feeling? Tip number 3, allow frequent brain breaks. For parents and students, a back-to-back schedule of activities is overwhelming. The good news, neuroscience supports frequent brain breaks, and their classroom teachers most likely have sprinkled them throughout the day. Students of all ages benefit from 1 to 3 minutes brain breaks as it improves attention span, maintains focus and energy, and helps students to process information learned more effectively. There are different types of brain breaks. There are quiet ones like feeling their own heartbeat, taking deep breaths, stretching in their seats. Then there are more physical ones like dancing or quick exercise activity. What kinds of brain breaks work for your child? Tip number 4, find a rhythm that works. Remember that every child learns differently, so you will need to customize a schedule and differentiate instruction to fit the needs of each child. Research says that younger children often perform analytical tasks such as math best in the morning, while teens have better memory and retention with a later start and more sleep. Routines help children establish a sense of what is normal and helps ease anxiety. Now, you've probably already made some kind of schedule for your child when distance learning began. Keep in mind that a rigid, static plan may not work for your child's need. Allow for change. Try and try again. Each day will have growing pains. Some plans will go well, other plans will just fall apart. It's okay to not get it right the first time, or the second, or even the third time. Your family is resilient, and that means that you can get through this. Each day, talk together about what went well and what could go better tomorrow. Remember that every day offers a chance to start again. Here is a schedule that we put in, a blank schedule for you to look at. Please visit our Parent University page to access the PDF file of this presentation to get a clickable link to this blank schedule, and you can print it out. Tip number 5, consolidate learning, putting it all together. One misconception about teaching is that its primary function is to help students retain information, but retention is just the first step. Effective learning requires that students retrieve information frequently and then make new meaning of it by putting it all together. We want learning to go beyond memorization. Have your child connect learning and make it stick by making the connection to everyday life activities. For example, math computations or math problem solving, to cooking recipes or pretend shopping online. Have your child teach what they've learned to a parent, a sibling, or even an audience of stuffed animals. Try to prioritize more engaging opportunities for your child to make new meaning of what's learned. How can you make connections from what your child is learning to everyday life? Tip number 6, encourage a growth mindset. Research shows that when students solve problems that are challenging, but still within their abilities, they deepen their learning. Allow students to struggle with problems before intervening. When work is completed, praise the effort or the process, not the intelligence. Try to avoid praising your child for being smart. The studies show that praising a child for inherent qualities tends to make them risk averse, and it discourages trying new and challenging things. You want your child to continue to push themselves, and praising hard work is more effective for building endurance and tenacity. Please visit our Parent University page to access the PDF file of this presentation to get the clickable links to say this and not that. Tip number 7, foster creativity, passions, and play. Help students move beyond a compliance mindset. Instead of having them say, I've completed my work, can I go now? Try to build in time for passion projects and fun. Use school at home as an opportunity to foster creativity. This will build self-motivation in your child to keep working hard and move beyond assigned work. Allow your child to use environment to explore different subjects or passion projects. In the hustle of academic work, don't forget the importance of play. Research shows that exercise can actually alter brain structure in ways that improve memory, attention, mood, and cognitive function. Unstructured play with few rules and a lot of room for imagination is recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics and allows children to learn about themselves, what they like, what they don't like, and it even allows them to make mistakes without feeling any pressure or failure. What passions has your child explored or plans to explore? In exploring these 7 tips for at-home learning, what is one area that your family will benefit from or needs the most to thrive? Go ahead and take a moment and pause the video to reflect on this question. And finally, we'd like to end our presentation with the same quote by Dr. Rebecca Palacios. Parents create the environments and experiences in which learning happens. which makes them the first teachers their children will ever have. We thank you again for joining us for this presentation. Visit our Parent University page found on the Linwood Unified School District's webpage to access the PDF file of this presentation with the clickable links to the resources. Please take a moment to fill out the survey by scanning the QR code with your smartphone camera, or simply type the link onto your browser. Our email is engagingfamilies@mylusd.org should you need to reach us. Thank you.